What's up, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Wizards Latest. I'm your host and DC sports fan, Ben Robertson, and on this page, we break down all the biggest headlines surrounding the Washington Wizards. So, today, I want to talk about some differing opinions I've seen in the Wizards community about the approach to this NBA offseason. I want to talk about if this lineup and how things are kind of looking right now stay the same. How will the lineup potentially project for the next NBA season? I know we still have some time here this summer. I want to talk about, one big question for the Wizards this year, not only this offseason, but again, progressing into the regular season, and why it's such an important year for one of the young players on the team. And lastly, a quick look ahead to the Summer League, which is right around the corner. Vegas Summer League getting started on July 10th. As always, like and subscribe to Wizards Latest. Drop your comments down below with any thoughts you might have on the video. You can also hit me over on Twitter at Ben Robertson32. I really appreciate all the support, you guys. Let's keep rolling and let's jump right in here today. So, of course, really kind of entering this offseason, the big chatter was, will we add a big man? And again, there's been a lot of mixed opinions maybe on this and maybe how adding a center sort of, relates to the rebuild. And really, I think that a lot of it is sort of how you look at the rebuild as a whole. So many people sort of have said to me, I've seen in the comments or even seen over on social media, well, why would we even add another big? Why would we add a center? We're trying to finish with a top 8 pick this year. That is sort of the goal. And if winning isn't a priority, why would we add a piece that maybe makes us better? And I totally get that point. And I realize that falling out of the top 8 of the draft or losing out on our first round draft pick next year, which is what would happen if we fall out of those top 8 selections, I realize that would be absolutely catastrophic. I mean, barring Trey Johnson having, some sort of Michael Jordan, LeBron-esque rookie year, which as much as I like Trey Johnson, I don't think is a realistic expectation. I think Will Dawkins, that front office, is obviously super upset if we miss out on a top 8 pick. So I understand people's maybe thought process on it from that regard. And so far, the Wizards front office has kind of seemed to agree. Everybody thought, at least with maybe the number 21 overall pick, originally it was the number 18 and then got traded back to 21, or maybe even when we got back into the second round, one of the selections would be a big, but obviously that didn't materialize, and it hasn't happened yet so far in the first few days here of free agency over the summer. So while, I wouldn't rule out maybe, a surprise move or add, just not even a surprise, but just an addition as the offseason progresses. Remember last year, Jonas Valanciunas was signed as a little bit of a surprise. If things do stay the way they're looking right now, here are who the bigs are. Alex Sarr, Kelly Olynyk, and Tristan Vukcevic. And Vukcevic is a restricted free agent, as a matter of fact, so we can match any offer that might come in for him. But right now, those are shaping up to really be the 3 options we have at the 4 or 5 spots. And this team last year was the second worst team in the NBA in terms of rebounding differential. Jonas Valanciunas ended as the team's leading rebounder, averaging just over 8 per game for the year in 49 games played before getting traded to Sacramento. And that right there is what makes me go, man, I would love to either add, if it's a youthful presence, that'd be great. But even if it's just a veteran rebounder to help crash the glass, because I just don't think getting shredded on the boards every single night is a way for this young roster to develop. I don't think that's how you develop Trey Johnson and Bilal Coulibaly and Bub Carrington, by just giving up, possession, a ton of possession or way more possession to the other team by just getting crushed on the glass and getting destroyed defensively in the lane. And to be honest, I don't think there's anybody that you're going to add at this point that is necessarily going to make your win total skyrocket or go through the roof or kind of get you out of where you sort of expect to be. Let's be honest, potentially near the bottom of the league again. I don't think you're going to have that, but I do think you could add a piece that just gives you a respectable kind of looking team and roster so that the other young, core talent on your on this Wizards team can actually get the proper look that they really deserve this upcoming year. And on the topic of, giving our young players a look and seeing what they have, I think this is a huge year for Alex Sarr. And I touched on this a little bit yesterday, but finding out really what he is now in year two is so important. Is he a true center or is he more of a power forward? Is he more of a four like a lot of fans project? And I understand that. Obviously, a little bit more of a perimeter oriented offensive game. So I get why fans sort of have that kind of maybe thought process about Sarr. Watching him last year, I mean, the athleticism and just the ability to run the rim, get off the court so quickly, elevate at his size, it just blows you away. Obviously, there's a lot of things to work on, and I'm excited to see him. It's going to start. Hopefully, I don't think it's been confirmed, but I do think it's expected that he'll play in the Summer League. I'm excited to see maybe what he's worked on. If he's added some size to his frame, maybe if his shooting has gotten a little bit more efficient. Obviously, kind of the jumper looked clean last year, but didn't shoot it, super well. He actually took a record, NBA record 3-point attempts for a rookie center last year, but he only shot it from 30%, about 30% from beyond the arc. So I'd love to see him get a little bit better in that regard, and hopefully we can sort of get some answers on Sarr moving forward, because again, that is just such a key talent and key cog in this rebuild process. Obviously, and I'm not saying this is who Sarr is or who he's going to be, but so many NBA fans NBA fans just got finished watching the finals, and you see what Chet Holmgren does, sort of playing as a power forward there with that OKC team, an absolute just defensive weapon there in that spot, and then also can knock down shots, can hit the long ball, and kind of has a perimeter oriented offensive game. I'm not saying Sarr is Chet, but you start to get some of those ideas about him, especially when you watch that style of play. So lastly, and what I sort of alluded to before, I'm really excited, and I hope and I'm expecting Sarr to play in this Summer League. Get started, the Vegas Summer League, on July 10th. There is action coming up this week. Before then, the Salt Lake City and California Classic events will begin on July 5th. But I'm super fired up for this Summer League, and just to see some of these young guys, actually some for the first time. Of course, this rookie class we'll see for the first time. We'll see Trey Johnson for the first time in a group that's going to feature potentially 6 first-rounders from over the last 2 years. We'll get to see maybe, again, what Bub Carrington and what Alex Sarr have added to their games. So fired up for the Summer League. We're going to continue to monitor that roster. We're going to continue to monitor any possible moves that the Wizards make throughout this offseason. So make sure you stay tuned, like and subscribe down below. Hit me with your thoughts in the comments or over on Twitter at Ben Robertson 32. I appreciate all the support, you guys, and thanks for tuning in to Wizards Latest.